repeated, uh, decision is what we are actually taking at every go. Like it's on the onset, it's like moving further ahead with various departments. It's moving further ahead with people. It is moving further ahead with administration. And like whenever it comes, like you have to tune into various departments, we have to tune into various functions, whether it is like in a organization or given concept, or the concept is like mingling with the society, it's mingling with the various other functions of the society, or like when we are saying that the company has to move global, it has to sell the product very like a tune factor, like everybody knows like how do we do in a given situation, like what is to be sold, how it is to be sold, when it's to be sold, why it needs to be sold, to whom it is to be sold. So at every juncture we require a decision to be picked up. So what we are actually saying is that this decision needs to be done by some people, it has to be coordinated by some set of people, it has to be in some particular function, it has to be further in some particular department, it could be in a given region, area, or function. So this is how. So we'll just see first and foremost that what is the decision aspect, like who is the function for taking a particular decision, whether it is right for a coordinate to take a decision, for whether it functions right if it is for the subordinates to take into a like a decision process. So this is how. So for a given function, for a given department, for a given organization, or at least if you say that for a given activity, okay, decision is an indispensable process. So it is a procedure which has to be picked up for it to go further, for it to go into an implementation process. Because if nobody says that, yes, this needs to be done, I will be just looking here and there, like what needs to be done, kind of what is to be taken further, what is the movement, like what is required to be done. Whether somebody has told me, kind of like as it come to me just by itself. In a given organization, the function is that somebody has to tell me, somebody has to detail me, like what is the process, what is the procedure, and all the norms of it, like why, where, when, because I cannot just loose-handedly pick up of anything and just keep on going. No. For an organization, for a particular thing to happen, it is very necessary that it has come from somebody to me, and then kind of I am going ahead with a further activity. So who's the norm for the decision process? So it would be the owner of the company, it would be the manager of the company. So manager falls in a group that is the management, the whole of the management process. They would be giving us a decision for a particular strategy. Okay, this is a go ahead, this needs to be done. So in that decision, what are the various processes which need to be done? So that would be handed over to the whole coordination committee, the who department, or the whole process which will be actually taking it further ahead to the culmination, like it is totally done, like with effect. So this is all an aspect of the decision. So from the directions to the implementation to the control process, it has to be coordinated and taken further to a profit situation. So this is how. Now we will just, in the introduction process, we'll just see like how our decision could be a move for a success. Like we are doing very well in a particular organization. So it is all coordinated with like, yes, thumbs up, you have taken a very good decision. Now, second thing could be happening is how decision has been governed by some set of people, or how it has been like done in a very fruitful way, whether it was a wise decision. There's all simple words like, but yes, as a matter of fact, in a very layman's voice, you could say it was a real good decision. You know, he was it's a strategic decision. Like it gave us a turning point, yes, and it made everything move in a faster way. Till now, nothing was happening in the department. अभी तो कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा था, लेकिन 2 दिन से वाह क्या बात है, हर एक चीज जो है अच्छे से चल रही है. मतलब everything is just fine, intact, everything is just prim and proper, very prompt. Files are all neat and found like where they are wanted. Everything is like signed properly. All the figures are intact. So kind of what has happened? So the first decision is that the new management has come into function and they know the whole department very well. They know everything what needs to be done, and like kind of they know where to pull the strings. So this means that they know where the proper decision lies, where are the strategic loopholes. So kind of what to pick up and what to leave, and which is the best way for a strategic decision making. So what are their thrust points? तो कहाँ पर क्या जोर देना है, कैसे बराबर का जोर देना है, कहाँ पर क्या तरीका अपनाना है, so that the management knows. Kind of management is wiser with their set of managers, so they know what is the flow. And like we read in the previous chapter, it is span of control. तो मेरा मैनेजमेंट जो है एस्पेक्ट वो कितने लोगों तक फ्लो करेगा. आई एम नॉट ओवरलैपिंग एनीवेयर. कहीं पर भी मैं ज्यादा का एक्स्ट्रा प्रपोजल देने रही हूँ, एक्स्ट्रा प्रेशर नहीं दे रही हूँ, तो जिससे मुझे जो काम चाहिए तरीके से सलीके से वो मुझे मिल रहा है. सो दैट इज ऑल एन एस्पेक्ट ऑफ decision making. And decision making, what is actual the concept about the decision making is what is the result I am generating. ओके तो जो भी डिसीजन मैंने दिया है उसका मुझे रिजल्ट ठीक से मिल रहा है या नहीं. तो हम लोग जब भी बोलते हैं ना कि ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हैं, गोल्स हैं, बराबर है ना. ऑब्जेक्टिव्स और गोल्स जो है हमने लिख लिए, पर वहां पर हमको क्या बराबर चाहिए कि वो ऑब्जेक्टिव्स और गोल्स को मिलाने के लिए हमने कुछ स्ट्रैटेजीज बनाई हैं, और वो स्ट्रैटेजीज को हमने डिसीजन के रूप में लिया है कि हाँ बराबर एन नंबर ऑफ स्ट्रैटेजीज आर देयर, बट दिस इज व्हाट इज फर्दर टेकन टू अ डिसीजन. मतलब ये जो है हम इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे. सो दिस इज हाउ दे आर ऑल objective directed, they are all goal directed, and we have to know that yes, this would be the right decision making. Okay, and kind of like how a decision is taken. Like I said, there are various ideas for brainstorming, so choice is yours. 5 are finally in the bracket, and they are the various alternatives which you could pick up for a particular decision making. So they would be like as strategies. Like for marketing department, there is a marketing strategy, there is a finance department, so finance strategy hai. Human resources ke liye human resource ka strategy hai. So decision makings are kind of different for different market departments. Okay, so for marketing, decision making will be different. For a finance, it would be different. For human resources, kind of it would be different. But then there is decision makings, they will fall in place. Like there will be of mutual concern, like how marketing and finance department are coming together, and then they finalize a strategy and they pick up a decision there. Or kind of like human resources would be doing a decision making on various strategies for falling in place for the marketing department, for the finance department, for the admin department, for their department itself. So how does it flow? So following is nothing but it is like where to cut off, where to cut your way out, where is the cutting edge, like how you have implemented the decision, how you are properly following the decision. So these are various aspects of the decision. Kind of, it needs to be like, you could have a simpler words, it would be one of the best of the decisions. It needs to follow all the aspects of the like governing functions of the department, and it should like consult all the governing people, that is the management, and it needs to, and then once it is implemented, it needs to flow through everybody for proper implementation. Like its procedural aspect, it should be seen that once decision has been taken, for example, it's an ISO 1000 function which has to be implemented. The company has gone further ahead with a decision that we will be implementing ISO procedures, and this needs to get implemented in 3 months time period. So every department will go ahead with the ISO procedure implementation. So this is a very big decision for the department. So how now the department, for example, now the first department is the marketing department. तो marketing department क्या देखेगा कि अब मैं क्या आगे के decisions लूँ. So they will form a decision कि I give you 1 month time period for the product one to go ahead to set up their ISO procedures. Product 2 के लिए ये ISO procedures के लिए है, product 3 के लिए ये. तो एक एक महीने में आप लोग अपने अपने प्रोडक्ट के ISO जो है कर लीजिए इस तरह से. फिर दूसरा डिसीजन क्या लेंगे हम, मतलब स्ट्रेटेजिक डिसीजन, तो कि हाउ वी विल नाउ ट्यून इन between them. A product one has to tune in with product 2 for particular decisions. Product 2 has to tune in with product 3 for particular decision. So set of ISO procedures governing. So there would be something concerning just the product, something would be just taking two of them together. It is concerning the product, it is concerning the product and the people. It could be the 4Ps of the marketing. So following so on and so forth. So these are like kind of decisions. They are directed. How's the goal directed? In 3 months' time. What is the objective to be achieved? It is to be further like followed by the admin people who will be coming visiting our department in 3 months' time. That is how. So how it is leading us to a right decision. So right decision is like as it has come from the management, it needs to be implemented. So it is towards a right decision. I mean, there are various alternatives. Like it is not that fine, management has come to us and they are telling that ISO has to be implemented. So just move around the department and like wonder what is to be done, what is to be done. अभी कैसे रहता है कि मार्केटिंग के जो लोग हैं वो बोलेंगे हम तो हर वक्त फील्ड में रहते हैं तो हम लोग तो कर नहीं सकते. तो एडमिन के जो है, मार्केटिंग डिपार्टमेंट में एडमिन डिपार्टमेंट है, तो वहां पर भी एग्जीक्यूटिव डिपार्टमेंट है, वहां पर भी कोऑर्डिनेशन कमेटी है. वो बोलते हैं ठीक है हम कर लेते हैं, आप हमारे पास तो सारे जो भी रिपोर्ट्स हैं वो हमको दे दो, वो जो भी आपके डिपार्टमेंट के प्रोसीजर्स हैं वो हमको दे दो, जो भी प्रोडक्ट के आपके मार्केटिंग प्रोसीजर्स हैं वो हमको दे दो. तो वी विल फाइल दैट आउट अकॉर्डिंग टू द रूल बुक, जैसे मतलब डिपार्टमेंट को चाहिए. फिर उसके बाद आप देख लीजिए कि कैसे वैसे बराबर हमने लगाया है या नहीं तौर तरीका. सो देयर आर वेरियस ऑल्टरनेटिव्स. So you have separated out like team one will check up the product, what should be the procedure for the products. Then team two would be sitting back and they would just see how the sales reports, their reports could be compartmentalized. And three would be like whether we have got admin function, so how that admin is regularly flowing, what is the kind of checks, what are the controls. So that is like put up in a file. So this is how. Then we take a simple exercise, just checking out whether they are okay and fine. So this is thought over with the manager. This is thought over with the sales managers. It is thought with the coordination committees. So all the think tanks, they are taken up and then the decision is formed. So one decision could be like management decision. One decision could be a think tank of the sales force. Okay, so kind of inclination is there could be a top management decision, there could be a middle management decision making, there could be a lower level management decision making. This is how, and this could be like it whose thought process. So from the management, like from the how's the flow, information flow, it's top to bottom. So top to bottom, so what top has told, it will flow to the bottom. But sometimes what happens, immediate concern, like in the coordination committee, some decisions have been taken. The top management, they have to know. The middle management, they have to know. So kind of what decision has been taken, it is put forward for the middle management as concern, or it is put to the top management. Finally, it's your information flow, because that will help you to coordinate amongst each other properly. So it's the communication aspect which needs to be done. So decision is very important and the flow of it. So how many types of decisions? So simple, like it could be daily decisions. Okay, like in the sales department, every day the sales manager, it trains their sales force. Okay, kind of this much is the product that needs to be sold, and this is the promotional measures. These are the new products which have come to the market. These are the competitive products which have come to the market. Then kind of like how would you be able to achieve the market as such, like, and how have you prepared your marketing plan. So these are all day-to-day decisions, like, so how's the coordinate they exchange amongst each other, like following this. So the sales person will say, I will be able to sell so many. The sales manager says, no, you have to sell this many. So coordinate could be like in middle. So of he has said 50 and they have said 30, I will settle somewhere in between. Okay, 35 will be possible for me for today. That is how I target my day to day, like today's function. So that's a decision taken. So, and this all day-to-day decisions, they culminate into a monthly decision. Like this is how the coordinate is. Routine functions. For routine functions, like I told for the account department, invoicing needs to be done. At least 10 invoice decisions have to be like invoice has to be made, or like sales generations. Everybody, like you've got hundreds of salesperson, so everybody's sales reports need to come in and that needs to be fed into the data bank and it has to be sent to the top management. So it's a routine work. So this has been taken as a decision that needs to be done, okay, as a procedure, as a norm. It could be some non-routine work. Something has just come in, like um, some new employee has joined in, so it was not expected. So, or otherwise, a new customer has joined in. So the whole process of introducing him or her to the function, to the shop, it is a total non-routine function. It was not expected. So it is a non-routine function. So how to get it settled? So that is also tuned in into the decision. Like it's a decision which has been taken, like how I went further ahead and did this work. In many of the companies, maybe they are big companies or they are smaller companies, people do talk it over. It's a table, like a conference, everyday schedule at the end of the day or just prior to the lunch or after the lunch, like how they have formed their schedule and what decisions they would be doing. So this decisions is an aspect वो क्या काम आज करेंगे, उसमें से क्या अचीव हो सकेगा, क्या नहीं हो सकेगा, क्या वो मतलब क्यों नहीं हो सकेगा और क्यों, मतलब मे बी टुमारो और डे आफ्टर टुमारो, ऐसे किस तरह से वो काम कर सकते हैं. तो वो डिसीजंस जो है वो उनको स्केड्यूल में अपने लिखने पड़ते हैं. These are the decisions we have taken. These are the simple उसके results हैं, and this is how it has been implemented, and it has been further taken to task like that. So what was the end result of the decision taken? Like how profitable to the concern that decision is. So that is okay. Now, a tactical or a strategic, I have been again saying. So strategic, it's meaning everything. Like it is programmed for control and for measurements, and it is for profitability. So it's a strategic decision which is being taken. Okay. So thoroughness has to be achieved, that we have got tempo for tactical and strategic decision making. So kind of where it will be there, it will be mostly with the management department. जो marketing के scenarios हैं, तो finance के top level जो है, तो middle level जो है, they would be more into the tactical and strategic, because most of the flow is from top to bottom. It's been told. Of course, the decisions are taken on the parameters which are coming from the lines, which is coming from the lower order, but they are all decisions taken which need to be further implemented. So they are the top bosses of the various departments. So it will get implemented further. Now, individual decision makings, all the members of the कंपनी इन द सेंस सेल्स फोर्स है, एडमिन के लोग हैं, एचआर फोर्स के बच्चे हैं, तो दे आर ऑल इंडिविजुअल्स. ओके, finally how they are all contributing to the organization's function, but it is required that they have got individual decisions in the sense that like what is the attendance policy, what is the present policy, like present policy in the sense the days in which they need to be present, their performance policies, their reward policies, their award policies, their behavioral policies. So for that, what sort of decisions they pick up, मतलब उनके खुद के जो गवर्निंग डिसीजंस रहेंगे खुद के बारे में. आपको बहुत बार कुछ कुछ मतलब बताया जाता है जोर शोर से, पर उसको हम कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे, उसको हम कैसे दिखाएंगे, मतलब हाउ विल वी showing it as an output, that's our decision making. That's not known to others. वो काम का तरीका जो है, it's not like all the time like for example, managerial decisions. The output is not just always justified. Like people don't do as a like thumb rule or as a what it is said in the book, but it is as I want. Okay, so it's different than in a uh, machine room or how the robots function. So it's a different decision altogether. This is how. And how's the group dynamics? Group dynamics, the decisions are totally different. See, there's so many n number of people together for a group, given group. So how will they go ahead? Everybody's think tank is different. How they come together and then give you like unique decision. It is called just a unanimous decision. But sometimes it happens that group is not formed well and everybody's think tank is different. Like मैं कुछ अलग सोच रही हूँ, वो कुछ अलग सोच रहा है, and there are different frames of mind. तो उनको एक तरह से आके बातचीत करने का तरीका जो है वो नहीं मिल पाता, तो वो डिसीजन जो है प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग का जो तरीका है वो अलग हो जाता है. ओके. एंड यस, द लास्ट वन इज प्रोग्राम्ड और नॉन प्रोग्राम्ड. सो प्रोग्राम डिसीजन मेकिंग तो हम लोग को पता ही है, जैसे रोबोटिक्स है. So they are all programmed decisions. They are programmed problem solvers. Non-programmed में आप individuals को ले सकते हो या तो group dynamism को ले सकते हो. So this is how they fall in place. Okay. So I have already actually explained how's the decision making process. What is the uh, fundamental, like how it flows. So the first aspect is a process would fall as top to bottom way, and most of it's that how favorably you do the communication. Okay, because advantages of a decision making process is that kind of a decision is given, then people know that what is to be done. Okay, tasks to be done. What are the deadlines? What are the due dates? And like in quantity, it could be quantified. Okay, and it also gives you a qualitative output. But if suppose a decision is not there, it will be like haywire. As you say that people do not know what is to be done. See, given a country like India, it's a big country, so much of population. Okay, so how do we get it going? There is admin services, there is government. Okay, there is a uh, politician who actually regulates the system. So this is like if all this was not there, so like what will the population do? What will the government do? What will the administration do? So this is like how the function will be all out of hand, out of control. So this happens for an organization also. So looking at a smaller scale, in a suppose a small organization, the management has been formed, the owner has put up a management, and the management is doing the decision making, it is doing the thinking process. And further, like for every department function, every manager is putting up a decision. So this is what is to be done for a routine procedure, this is what is to be done for a monthly procedure, this is how you have to sell, this is how you should be able to generate profits. Okay, so these are the various think tanks. So there are advantages for a decision making process, and there are disadvantages if a decision making process is not functional. Okay, so these are the various aspects, like you obtain an objective. Okay, for a decision cannot be wiser that just on one early morning I got up and I have thought of something and this should be regularized, this should be your administration, this should be implemented. No, means even the owners or the top managers could not go ahead. This is a very well thought of procedure. Over the years, kind of you build up on particular decision. So this would be like becoming wiser with bigger products. This could be like faster when there are smaller products, and how fast like it needs to be taken to task. मतलब ऐसे होते हैं ना, छोटे छोटे डिसीजंस हैं कि भाई आप ले लो, रेगुलराइज कर लो, मेरे से क्यों बात कर रहे हो. जैसे टॉप मैनेजर्स छोटे मैनेजर्स को बोलते हैं कि आप दे डू गिव देम दैट this is the amount worth you can pick up the decision, or like span of control. It is फॉर वेरियस थिंग्स, लाइक फॉर अ गिवन डिपार्टमेंट हम अपना मार्केटिंग डिपार्टमेंट लेंगे। मार्केटिंग डिपार्टमेंट में जैसे सबसे हमारा बड़ा बॉस जो है जनरल मैनेजर मार्केटिंग है। सो अंडर हिम व्हाट आर द वेरियस डिसीजन मेकिंग प्रोसेस, वो क्या क्या मुद्दों का डिसीजन ले सकता है। सो देयर ही कैन एम्प्लॉय एटलीस्ट 4 salesperson under him. He can employ 1 assistant manager under him. He can go further ahead with 2 sales managers under him. Then, what a decision he can pick up for the customers, like customer feedback. So everything is up to him. Like suppose if one of the customer feedback comes annoying, like he has not done well, so he should not go to the top management grudging that our product has not done well. It is up to him to solve that problem. Okay, so he should not go to the his big boss, the owner of the company. देन व्हाट इज द एप्लीकेबिलिटी, कुछ डैमेजेस हैं और कुछ मतलब जैसे सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करनी है जहां पर आप फैसिलिटेशन करते हैं, कुछ इवेंट्स करने होते हैं, बनाने होते हैं, या फिर थोड़ा सा जैसे गेस्ट्स को एंटरटेन करना होता है। सो सम मनी फैक्टर इज इन्वॉल्व, तो हाउ मच इन्वॉल्वमेंट ही कैन गिव। ओके, सो इट्स सम crores of rupees are assigned to him, so that is his budget. So that it is an yearly budget. Okay, so in that he would just distribute it to the month and then go ahead further with his own uh, involvement. So here now he would wonder like what is to be done, what are the kind of different decisions that need to be taken for the coming month or maybe 3 months from now. So what would be the regulator? Some top manager has told him, like his boss, these things have to be done. So first of the instruction is on that basis, and second thing is like what he has got thinking. So he has to identify a problem, okay, with the set of people he has got. And on that, he has to search out for various plans, various coordinates, like this could be achieved so. And then go ahead that whether it is right or wrong, what would be the like input and what output. There are different types of problem solving and critical thinking techniques. Like you give them some the various aspects, like one of the alternatives, like maximum how much trouble this uh, alternative can give us, like trying to extend the tension to the 100%, extending like for a machine, like how do you put it into a toughest of the groomings, like it is put into hard water, put into hot water, into cold water, क्या होगा उसको। तो उस तरह से एक आधा ऑल्टरनेटिव को लेके हम लोग कुछ कुछ उसको तंग करते हैं। तो जैसे कांच का ग्लास है, उसको तोड़ के देखो टूटता है कि नहीं, ये इस तरह से। सो देयर आर वेरियस थिंग्स, लाइक at most what will happen if this decision is implemented. So this is how every alternative has to be tapped. Okay, and there then all our Salesforce team, all our coordinate, everybody of the team member, even smallest of the being of the department would be taxed for this alternatives. Like let's see whether this alternative is fine. And this is how we actually go ahead for the result and what would be the feedback and like what is the specific objective achieved. So this is how a decision making process falls in place. And this tuning like happens with all the department. It has to be done further. So that is like involvement further. You could take it straight to the other departments also. So here there are a few of the things of a very good decision. So how it should be, it should be a effective decision. It should be implemented because every manager, like the top boss, they are judged, like their performances are on that, like how many decisions were taken in their favor, मतलब कितना decisions को उनको उनकी तरह से जवाब मिला है, मतलब they were in their favor, so it was not that they were overruled, not that way. So judgment was in their favor, so it's an effective decision. Action oriented, like how many were taken to task. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ऐसा सिंपल सा जो हम इसका एक एग्जाम्पल ले सकते हैं, R&D डिपार्टमेंट में लोग सालों सालों कुछ तो भी प्रोडक्ट बनाते रहते हैं, लेकिन कितने प्रोडक्ट उनके जो हैं एक्चुअली फेवरेबल इसमें गए, मतलब उनका पेटेंट जनरेट हो गया, उसको कंपटीशन मिल गया, वो मार्केट में सेल हो गया। तो इस तरह से मतलब वो उम्दा हो जाता है वो आदमी. सो ही इज इनटू अ effective decision making. He has got a favorable way of action. So this is how, okay. So kind of this could be for the finance also, like they go ahead further seeing that these are the various expenses. So how do we go ahead further for the financing? Like what are the various offers in the finance market to develop our finances further? So they will tell you the various investment ways, investment measures, and if they go in the favor, like we have been able to improve on our interest rates, we have been able to improve on our exchanges, like money has duplicated in some other way, like we have got more of finance availability, it's not just the sales dependency. So this is how your like finance decisions are in a favorable. So the finance managers, they are in the best of the call. This is how. So how does it look like? So they are all goal directed. At the start of the financial year, you have already set up yourself a good set of goals for each and every department. So how do they call? They're calling as smart goals. What are the smart goals? Smart goals are that they are specific. They're all like you kind of able to associate. And even the meanest of the person, the least of the person, is able to know that this is what a department wants. This is how. So it's specific, measure in simple words. It is being told, okay, and they are measurable. Measurable in the sense, like how I am saying is that so much of output needs to be generated. So think tank, we could just take it into the marketing department. So Salesforce, they have been given a target that at least 20 crores need to be generated. So salespeople say, oh, wow, this big. So this is very achievable here. So this is very relevant to the current time. Like आजकल के जो तरह है, जिस तरह का मार्केट चल रहा है, उसमें मेरे को वो बहुत रेलेवेंट लगता है. एक एक मशीन ही 10 करोड़ की है, तो दो मशीन ही तो बेचनी है इस तरह से. So 10 crores, 2 machines is just simply possible. This is a very comfortable way of setting out your goals, and they are time bound. So it's not that like for n number of years, kind of you're trying to achieve your 2 machines and say like uh, uh, whole your employability finishes in that. So this is not the way. The factor is that you are doing those 2 machines, but yes, relevance is that two more machines you have been able to sell. So this is how your goal direction gets more and more applicable. And then efficiency in the implementation. Now the target is like it's an effective decision the whole company is knowledgeable about. So of course these decisions are secretive in their departments because they cannot explain it out to the others, because then they will tire you out. Finance will say, oh बाप रे 20 crores आपको बताया है, इस तरह से तो आप कर लेंगे क्या? They do come and bully it out. Okay, ऐसे थोड़ी ना है. बातचीत का तरीका, communication, it could be that they bully you out, they'll tire you out, whether you'll be able to do it or not. And as it is, marketing department is one of the most like overworked department for getting their targets done, achieving their targets, or otherwise others are just resting. There is nothing at hand. They do not know how to pick up on the money market, how to get their company into a more profitable situation. So whole thrust is like marketing will be able to marketing will be able to do. So this needs to be pick up. Okay. So there has to be efficiency in the implementation. The thought process is that it does not demoralize the company, demotivates the company. And every department looks as if a resource to the whole organization. So it doesn't look like only marketing has got the target and they have to do the function, but it is for everybody. So it's just an example. But this is how an effective decision needs to be taken. This is. So let's see what is the guideline for effective decision. तो वहां पर हम लोग categorical interpretation. So for each category there is an interpretation. कि एक task बताया है तो उसका मतलब क्या है, आपको वहां पर क्या करना है. So this is explained. Okay, because see, we have got HR people, they're HR executives, they're finance executives, they're operation executives, they're marketing executives. They do not know what the top boss says. There are difficult words. I don't know what it means. So हर एक category के लिए जो भी achievement है, there are some like these are thumb rules. They are governing everybody, like HR policy. It's a like categorical interpretation is required. HR person will remember it very properly, it will recognize it very properly, इंटरप्रेशन उसका बहुत अच्छा होगा, लेकिन मार्केटिंग को समझ में नहीं आएगा, ऑपरेशन को समझ में नहीं आएगा, कुछ कुछ शब्द ऐसे हैं, बोलेगा मुझे पढ़ाया ही नहीं है, तो ये समझने की तो भक्ति नहीं है. तो कैटेगोरिकली इंटरप्रिटेशन, तो व्हाट डज इट मीन, वेयर इट इज रेलेवेंट एंड हाउ, लाइक कैसे एप्लीकेबल है, तो मुझे प्लीज बताइए. तो उसका कैटेगोरिकल इंटरप्रिटेशन जो है वो देना पड़ता है. तो एप्लीकेशन ऑफ लिमिटिंग फैक्टर प्रिंसिपल, सो एवरीवेयर देयर आर लिमिटर्स, डिलिमिटर्स जिसको बोलते, तो हर एक चीज को जो है उसको जो लिमिटेशन है वो बताना पड़ता है. दैट्स कॉल्ड अ लिमिटिंग फैक्टर. इट शुड नॉट बी दैट इट इज everybody's concern, so there's no overlap. HR department finishes here, I don't have any authority over this. Marketing department finishes here, I don't have any authority over this. So every decision should have this sort of an application aspect. Now, what is the adequate information? Yes, adequacy. It's so well framed. Just go through all the policies. They are sometimes given on the internet. So you just check it out. It's adequate, it's so neatly written in such simple words. So in a good language, the information imparted is like it's keeping its aspects, like it serves as a guideline. It helps you to improve, okay, and it's a good motivator also. So it's adequate information, not too much of it and not too less of it. A very compact information which is passed over to you, okay. So, and how it is made, it is considering other views. So even kind of shareholders are part of it. Even the bankers who are your financiers would be a part of it. Like how they have considered them. It doesn't mean that all the time these are people who are coming and just like in your conference on your group discussion room. No, not that way. But it's just considering in the back of my mind when I am giving an effective decision, I am considering them that shareholders are there, then bankers are there, suppliers are there, customers are there. I know their views, okay? And sometimes it happens through research activities, through various analysis. I come to know that this is what is their viewpoint and this is how they get implemented, okay? The timeliness is the best justified. I generate a financial year, accounting year is there. For marketing to achieve their targets, I do give them monthly targets. For finances, I do give them targets. Finances are also not here where it is dependent on how the other departments are working. HR also has got their department and their functions, like it is a time-bound frame, HR people. So their budgets are also defined. So these are all that time is the factor. So whenever you say that they are specific, measurable, there are goals which are like, again, sorry, reliable, okay? So accuracy is there. So there is an aspect of timeliness. They need to be having the timeliness aspect, okay? This is how. Okay, so here, who all would be there? Individual versus group decision making. This is a very good connect. Like if you think it over, आप खुद सोचने को बैठे अगर इस टॉपिक में, मतलब डिसीजन मेकिंग में, एक केस स्टडी भी ले सकते हैं. अगर इंडिविजुअल है और उसको अपना डिसीजन मेकिंग करना है, नहीं तो चार लोग, चार जो प्यादे हैं वो बैठ के अगर डिसीजन मेकिंग ले रहे हो ग्रुप पे, तो क्या फास्टर होगा, उसमें एडवांटेजेस क्या है, डिसएडवांटेजेस क्या है. So this could be a complete question by itself, like how is individual decision making different from a group decision making and what are the advantages and disadvantages. So this you could just keep up for yourself. I'll not go on further explanation because we don't have much time. Okay. So here few calculative like parameters are given. So you have to identify for each one, it would be there that the nature of problem, time availability, what is the quality of decision which needs to be done, okay? And then climate of the decision making, when. Climate means the time, again, time boundness is there. And the legal requirement. So that specific has to be checked. Okay. Now here, again, whenever you are going ahead, like we are replaying this whole PPT presentation, you just kind of have a look into it. Group decision making, this is what is required, like pooling of knowledge and information, satisfaction and commitment, personal development, and more risk taking. For a group decision making, this is important because people annoy each other. We have got 4 to 5 people around, okay? So here, what will happen? they are not tuned to each other. They are competitive to each other. Okay, they are not like a good connect for each other. It is like, please mind your own business. Even if we are sitting together, what's it? What's the level-headedness? So what is there to achieve? So the goal and the objective would set that. Okay, the prime function, that what is the benefit you are going to get, what is the money you are going to get, that is reward, what are the upgrades you're going to get, that will actually settle the group decision making. So here now how the group will get settled, it will pool in the knowledge and information. बातचीत का तौर तरीका ढूंढेगा, क्या क्या knowledge चाहिए, क्या क्या information चाहिए. Okay, and like again the time boundedness has to be there, like till what time it is to be completed. तो उसमें हमको किस तरह से, मतलब how this need could be satisfied, what is the commitment and satisfaction is all an aspect of your objectives and goals. And this personal development, like it is an aspect of what will be your rewards, what will be your rewards, what will be the performance upgrades. This is how, and whether you are ready for more risk taking. So this also is like applied in the group decision making. Whether, see, group decision making, once the decision is made, okay, fine, but later to that, whether you would love to do something better, something more, that needs to be communicated in a decision making process. So there are some negative aspects also, but function is all the time we approve of team dynamism, because then the functional accord is that we do much work and it is a bit faster. But yes, there are some negative aspects, like it could tune out to be too much of a time consuming, costly affair, because so many heads, they are not thinking properly. There could be an individual domination, like they are individually advised. Leadership quality is too much of a higher, and he's not, or she is not listening, and like too many terms to dictate, and everybody happens to be a follower. So there is a problem, recognition problem, there is a group thinking problem, so no level-headedness. So this could be a very disturbing. Many teams, like they fall apart because they do not kind of carry the thought process properly. Okay, now in the line of the decision making whole process, there is one aspect is rationality. Okay, rationality is जो सबके लिए advised होता है. It is need and the concern of the department, of the whole of the organization. Finally, what will it be? Whatever decision has been taken in the marketing department, somehow the later time it will be showing on the other departments. Okay, any of the decisions, however smallest or however intricate it is, it will somewhere or the other show. So there are two aspects theoretically. It is, one is economic man model, like how you consider how much money has been chipped in. मतलब कितना पैसा जो है हमने इन्वेस्ट किया है. जैसे घर के खर्चे के लिए हमने क्या बोलते हैं, 100 रुपए का आज का तुम्हारा दिन का खर्चा है बराबर, तो उसमें से 5 रुपए आपने अपने लिए बचा लिया, तो 95 रुपीज जो है आपने अपना खर्चा दिखाया, इकोनॉमिक मॉडल बताया. सो 95 rupees is your economic model, or 5 rupees is your economic man model. So this is how a decision making is done, because regular affair is what, in a given decision there is a money factor. आप उसमें कितना पैसा जो है इन्वेस्ट करेंगे, कुछ इनपुट देंगे तभी तो आउटपुट होगा, तो उस तरह से. सो इकोनॉमिक मैन मॉडल उसको बोलते हैं. और दूसरा जो है भाग, वो होता है एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव मॉडल. एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव मॉडल में मतलब तरीका कैसे हुआ, तो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने कुछ डिसीजन दिया है, इट्स टोटली गवर्न बाय द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. तो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने कोई ये जो तौर तरीका बताया, वो इट हैज टू बी स्ट्रिक्टली इम्प्लीमेंटेड. So there are so many things, like how will you move around in the premises, what will be the lunch times, what will be the talking times, what is the coming in time, going out time, like how will you move amongst the departments, how will the top management move, how will the middle level management move, how will be the executive levels move. So this is how. Okay, and like if suppose it's a big company, manufacturing company, तो उसमें administrative models क्या decision देंगे, तो management executive process, like they are not to move on the shop floor, never to be seen, only the managers of the production or the operations. This is how. So, and whenever they're told, they have to justify it at the HR and then move on to the. So these are the various administrative models. Okay. So this is called a rational decision making, kind of how it tunes into the various departments and the various functions. Now, bounded rationality. What is the bounded rationality? Bounded rationality means that, in a rational behavior, like what we are talking here about is the rational decision making. There is a bounded decision making. तो उसको कितने मतलब जो limitations हैं, कितने तरह से hard bound है और कितने तरह से वो loose bound भी बोल सकते हैं. तो hard bound मतलब how tough they are, और थोड़ा सा स्मूथ फंक्शनिंग के भी होते हैं. और लूज बाउंड मतलब हेवायर, मतलब दे आर लाइक यू कैन टेक इट टू टास्क फॉर एनीथिंग. They do not say that they are to be tackled too much. Hard bound means they are very strictly advised. And smooth functioning के हो सकते हैं जो हल्के रीति से अपने रोज के मतलब डेली स्केड्यूल में रूटीन मैकेनिज्म में फिट हो जाते हैं. नहीं तो लूज लाइक इन द सेंस not too much of constraints are there. So it is like anybody's function, anybody's behavior like that. So decision making mechanisms, as a thumb rule, they should be so that they have got a bounded rationality. उसको कुछ तो भी limitations हैं. मतलब आप इससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं कर सकते. ऐसे उसके लिए हर वक्त के लिए उसको एक क्रिटिकल व्यू पॉइंट है. मतलब कोई आपको देख रहा है, आपको जवाबदार ठहराता है उस तरह से. सो यू वुड बी क्वेश्चनड इफ यू like over trespassing, like okay, or overdo the decision like that. So everything has to be done in a bounded way. तो उस तरह से तो उसमें कैसे कौन से हैं. तो ह्यूमन फैक्टर्स हैं, like who are all part of the decision, who are the various members in the decision making. Kind of, if it is like an HR decision for a particular employee, तो मार्केटिंग डिपार्टमेंट से है, तो कौन कौन सिग्नेचर्स देखा, तो मार्केटिंग डिपार्टमेंट का तो है ही. फिर कौन से लेवल का है, अगर टॉप बॉस है तो उसका टॉप मैनेजमेंट का भी सिग्नेचर रहेगा. फिर फाइनेंस का है क्योंकि वो सैलरीज दे रहे हैं. एचआर क्या है क्योंकि उन्होंने उनको लिया है तो उनका भी साइन रहेगा. तो इस तरह से तो एक एम्प्लॉयमेंट सिनेरियो में बात कर रही हूँ. तो वहां पर ये डिसीजन मेकिंग जो है उसको वहां पर लेना है, इम्प्लीमेंट करना है, उसको तरीके से अपने जॉब में रखना है. तो हु विल बी द डिसीजन मेकर्स लाइक दैट. एंड सी दिस आर नॉट जस्ट योर स्किल फैक्टर्स. मतलब आपका जो जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन है सिर्फ उसके तौर तरीके नहीं है, पर उसमें और कौन से मुद्दे हैं. तो इट इज योर पर्सनल वैल्यू सिस्टम. इट इज द what are the norms and the values which you carry with you. It's your perception, how you uh, believe in the system, how you adapt to the system, like that. So these are all an aspects of your individual kind. It is your individual nature, how you have been brought up, and what has been inculcated by your school of learnings. Okay, and like in which society mannerisms you have grown up. So this will sometimes it will happen that it will conflict in the given organization because there are so many people. Now, what's the basic? Thousands of people who are together. You team up with almost 10 of the people. So all these aspects, like your personal value system, your perceptions, they will always be like put to like they're taxed. मतलब बोलते हैं ना उसको ऐसे खिंचाव रहता है हर वक्त, करूं या ना करूं. व्हाट आर द डूज एंड डोंट्स, व्हाट आर द एडवांटेजेस एंड द डिसएडवांटेजेस. तो बहुत से फैक्टर्स होते हैं उसमें. काम है बराबर है, सिर्फ एक टेक्निकल काम है जो हमको पढ़ाया गया है और वो इसी तरीके से होता है. जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना 2+2 = 4, 30+30 = 60. इसको 4 दिन में खत्म करना है, बराबर है, वो सब मेरे को मालूम है. लेकिन जब आप प्रैक्टिकल एप्लीकेबिलिटी करने देखेंगे तो दीज ऑल सिस्टम्स आर taxed. They are always affected. There is like in your top management, political and the power behavior, they are the governing factors. Personal value system है, perception है, बराबर. लेकिन उनको तो क्या तरह मतलब तंगी रहेगी, तो political और power behavior. They will come and again tax you. How this company has come and like where is our share, or they will tax that this is I am not getting the benefit from your existing company. So power behavior would be there. Then there would be suppliers conflict, like raw material is not present, or like all the time it is an aspect of how diplomatically you confront it. So these are all various various decision-making processes. Okay, so that's a political and power decision-making. How you take up this is how you confront all this. Then the time constraints, like value is added to a system if you are able to put it up in a time frame. कंपटीशन है तो कंपटीशन को हम दबा सकते हैं कैसे, तो 4 दिन में कर सकते हैं प्रोडक्शन पूरा और सेल कर सकते हैं. तो दैट इज द टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट. वो ऑपरेशन मैनेजर आके बोलेगा सर मेरे पास तो अभी इतना साइकिल नहीं है, आई कैन नॉट गिव यू सो मेनी pieces in so many days. So kind of what to do? We can just hire it from somewhere. So if we got a good repo from the external factor, so that could be made available. We can just contract it out to them and then get it done. So this is how you matched the time constraint. So this is how. So these are all various rational behaviors which like are up and down. ऊपर या नीचे रहते हैं, उसमें कुछ तो भी बनाव रहता है, जैसे बोलते हैं ना मनमुटाव है, बनाव रहता है, खिंचाव रहता है. तो दिस इज हाउ. सो दीज आर ऑल एस्पेक्ट्स व्हिच टैक्स योर वे ऑफ डिसीजन मेकिंग, एंड दिस वुड बी लाइक हायर इन द टॉप मैनेजमेंट, दिस वुड बी हायर, मोर हायर इन द ओनर ऑफ द सिस्टम, एंड वुड बी अ बिट लेसर इन द जस्ट द एग्जीक्यूटिव पोस्ट, जो हम लाइन्समैन बोलते हैं, सेल्स पोस्ट बोलते हैं. तो उस तरह से. सो दिस इज हाउ इट इज. Okay. Now, one more aspect which you need to study properly is like what are the decisions, and like in certain situations how they can be perfectly or imperfectly done. So there are these three situations, like perfect certainty, there is a risk, and there is a complete uncertainty. Perfect certainty is the perfect condition. मतलब एक दिया हुआ market है, it's a suitable environment, like all the factors of the business, of the commerce, they are in like perfect. They're in unison, like they're of mutual concern. So there, what types of like decision making would be done? Actually, it would be all final. सबसे अच्छा डिसीजन मेकिंग तभी होगा जब मतलब हर एक जो सिचुएशन है पूरी परफेक्ट सिचुएशन है, हर एक चीज जो है वो मैच कर रही है. जैसे फैक्टर ऑफ कंसर्न्स जैसे हैं, सॉरी, देयर इज अ रॉ मटेरियल, it is in abundant, the conveyance is in abundant, we have got a very good production line, we have got a very good force, in the sense people force, labor force. So this is all like perfect situation. So here decision making would be perfect. But the same governing factor like conditions of risk, what are the risks? There would be implied risks. Okay, so there are lots of anomalies, in the sense अभी जैसे raw material जो था perfect situation में था, there is, it's not in abundance. So a few of the suppliers have taken a defeatist attitude, so they have just gone back, or otherwise competition is very much on a high side, they've come out with a new product, or there are like terrorism, there are calamities, there is environmental risk, there is government risk, political risk. So so many types of risk. So it's in abundance. So what do we do? So decision makings, they falter, they get affected. Sometimes you tend to spend higher in this type of case. Your companies, like you go for higher loans. Okay. So in this situation, or like you have to stay low in this kind of situation. So there are different decision makings. A complete uncertainty, where things don't happen the way you, it's like you don't have an alternatives, you don't have contingencies plans. So it's an uncertain behavior. The risk you do not know. In condition of risk, you are actually knowing what are the various risks of the given environment. But uncertainty मतलब आपको कुछ भी क्या होने वाला है 2 दिन में, 4 दिन में, 5 दिन में, पता नहीं. So I do not know, but I have still understood few of the risks. ठीक है, अनसर्टन कंडीशन है ना, जैसे मार्केट अनसर्टन हो सकता है, रॉ मटेरियल जो है अनसर्टन हो सकता है, तो ठीक है, बराबर है. 4 मैं बना लूंगा, 4 थोड़ा सा अनसर्टन सिचुएशन के लिए रख दूंगा. फिर दूसरा जो है, जैसे क्लाइमेटिक सिचुएशन है, जैसे इसका रहता है, प्रोड्यूस का रहता है, राइस वगैरह जो है, बारिश ज्यादा हो गई तो सब खत्म, गेहूं बनाया सब खत्म, गन्ना खराब हो गया. सो दीज आर ऑल अनसर्टन सिचुएशंस, वी आर नेवर up to mark. So what decision making? Still, we don't have good decision making for this process. We lose every year so much of our produce because of the unwanted rains or because of the unexpected drought. So these are all uncertain situations. There is increasing terrorism in the business areas, in the industrial area. So this is all unwanted terrorism, kind of it is on the rise. So these are all uncertain situations. So so decisions, they change. So what are the various uh, disciplines under which the decisions would change? This is how, okay? So you could like lessen this anomalies on this function. Like you could take some, like I said, कि मुझे जैसे चींटी का तरह रहती है, वो विंटर में अपना सब कुछ विंटर के लिए अपना सब कुछ समर में बचा के रखती है, तो उस तरह से. या तो स्पाइडर, हाउ डज इट मेक इट्स कॉब वेब? Nobody can like enter that sort of a way. So these are all called as scientific approach, a creative approach. So for the inventory, like I have got best of the raw material, I have stocked it as it is, and I have overproduced in my better days. So and they are in the warehouse whenever you require. So this is how is the today's strategies. Okay, so scientific approach, like I have got more of artificial intelligence at work. I've got more of machine learning procedures. So this is a scientific way of approaching, like creativity approach. Think tank is like how I have gone ahead with franchises, alliances. The funda is that if like what is the consistency? If your work is not going on, I am improving on that. I have been able to supply to the market. So these are all various ways how for quicker ways. Like it is said that today's volatile world, or today's like world where things happen in just second, like it is at war, or there is a nuclear warfare kind of political situation is bad. You could just see like in just recent example of Canada. So what should we do? So there are these sorts of decision makings. So they are all management level decision makings which are there to implement, and these are the various approaches. So yes, the first which we read were the quantitative techniques. Now we are here at the non-quantitative aspect. So there are some things like at the spur of the moment. Managers, like they do take decisions at the spur of the moment. So it's by intuition or by facts, by experiences, opinions. There could be good decisions like women, in kind of rains, or in kind of like suppose Ganpati festivals. There's a lot of roadblocks. So how they need to be sent. So earlier only they will send them home, or what is that is our aspect. Then kind of in a situation like um, in a retail market, the competition is saying that our product will sell, and we are not as I updated, like we are not properly stocked in a particular shop. So it's an intuition. Like most of the game is on intuition. Luck is the factor. आप कितने लकी हैं, तो उसमें अपना जो मैथमेटिकल इक्वेशन है वो काम नहीं करती, साइंटिफिक तौर तरीके जो है काम नहीं करती, ज्यादा के कैसे रहते, इंट्यूशन, मुझे ऐसा लगता है. और नहीं तो मैंने क्या फैक्ट्स जो है वो फिगर आउट किए हैं, और अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस से मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ऐसा ही हो, तो वही जवाब दे जाता है. नहीं तो ओपिनियंस, बहुत से लोग जो है तो ओपिनियंस कलेक्ट करके फिर स्ट्रैटेजीज या डिसीजंस देते हैं. तो इस तरह से ये चीजें जो है काम कर जाती है. दीज आर ऑल नॉन क्वांटिटेटिव टेक्निक्स. बहुत सा जो अपना बाजार है, मार्केट है, कमर्शियल जो स्ट्रक्चर है, वो इस तरीके से भी चलता है. तो इनको हम डिसीजन मेकिंग के नॉन क्वांटिटेटिव टेक्निक्स. सो यू कैन जस्ट एलैबोरेट ऑन दिस एस्पेक्ट्स. Fine. Are we over? Yes. This is one of the aspects. Like here, you could just go ahead with a decision tree. So this you could just read through, and it's a very simple, like how you do a flow chart. So there are various ways where you could come to a decision. So you put it up in a bracket and see whether what will be the output, whether it's yes or no, like that, and can make your decision available.